I've been hearing a lot recently of, that mental health matters. Well, yes, it does. The COVID pandemic has been affecting people mentally as well as financially. Is there something we can do about it? Yeah, there is. Finally put mental health on the same pedestal as physical health. With physical health, you can actually see the problem. Most of the time you can see the problem. And for the most part, it can take, in my experience, up to several months to heal. With mental issues, you can't see them. It could take years, decades. Do you not see how important that is? Now, I've been suffering with mental health issues since 2017. I've been suffering with them since I lost my daughter. And I just went on a downward spiral ever since. So with COVID, obviously I've had my ups and downs with still, but with COVID, it has really impacted me to the point where I'm just thinking, is this going to be my life from now on? Am I just going to be so overwhelmed that this is going to be my everyday? Is it like, I don't know, am I going to be so anxious about so many things that are going on in my life and outside my life that I will just never feel like it will just be a normal day? Like kind of like, no, let's just have some breakfast, care for my son and all that. And just not worry about anything, really. Not be anxious about anything. Because I rarely have those days anymore. And that's partly due to COVID. Restrictions are going to be lifted on the 19th. Personally, I think this is a stupid idea. We are admitting defeat to COVID. We're just saying, ravish the country, kill off hundreds of people. Apparently, according to the latest figures, there's going to be at least no more than 200 deaths a day. 200 deaths. Now, there'll be no social distancing anymore. There will be no limit on how many people you can meet up with. Now, at first, that sounded like a positive to me. But then I realised, who the fuck's going to want to hang out with me? If I think back to my adolescence, I've realised that most people only hung out with me basically because they had no one else or they had no other option. Or they would only do so if my brother was around, if my brother was with me. That's it. I was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder a few years back, specifically Asperger's. And I may say stuff without speaking, I may be blunt, I may not care about people's feelings in the moment. I may do things without thinking, actually a lot of the time, and say things without thinking. Does that mean I'm a bad person? No. It just mainly means I'm socially awkward, and that, I feel, is the problem. Because I wasn't as fun-going as my brother, I wasn't as chilled out as he was, I was a lot more awkward than he was, so through no fault of his own. Many people, I feel like most people saw me as just the tag-along, as the buzzkill, as the depressor. Fast forward to today. Now, I'm going to be honest. Even though I'm not great at social situations, even though I'm not the most talkative person, that doesn't mean that I just want to be on my own. That doesn't just mean that I never want to hang out with anyone. I mean, yes, people have their own lives. They have either full-time or part-time work. That I understand. I understand that. It's just that I feel like it gets to a point. Blimmin' telemarketer, bugger off. I feel like it gets to a point where that I kind of sound like big-headed, where I make it sound like, does anyone care what I want, sort of thing, which is further from the truth. Is that I feel in this society, as a straight white man, no one cares. No one. And this isn't something that's new, unfortunately. Because it's like you can't say anything without getting crap for it. Or you think you're going to get crap for it. And that's primarily how I feel at the moment. Because I recently posted on my Facebook that I'm scared of women. And it's not that I'm not scared to ask, like say for example, it's like, oh, excuse me, do you have the time on you or something like that. No, I'm scared because I feel like no matter what I say, or if I say particularly anything, they can twist that and use it against me, no matter what it is. And that... And then... Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I'm not making this video to get attention or have people feel sorry for me. That's the last thing I want. That's the last thing I expect. I'm saying this to make people understand, or at least try to. It's like I feel like I can't say or do anything, not just in real life, but mainly on social media, that I have to be super careful. I have to walk on eggshells with everything I do. Everything I do, everything I say. Even if it's just me venting, I feel like I have to be careful with it. And why? Because I've seen other people post stuff like they've had a really bad day, or they're feeling anxious, or something along those lines. And no one tells them, oh, be careful what you post. I get it constantly. Constantly. And I can understand people's concerns. I get it. But at the same time, just because of how my brain works, just because it's wired differently, just because a few wires are crossed, do you not think I haven't thought about that? I mean, yeah, I did say earlier that I tend to act before I think. But that doesn't mean I don't think before I act sometimes. This is my life. People telling me I constantly have to be careful because that's just how I have to be. I feel like I can't even be myself sometimes. Or that if I'm having a really bad day, I have to be really quiet about it. I have to keep my mouth shut. How is this fair? It isn't. At all. It's getting to the point where even when I feel like I want to vent, no one's going to give a damn. Or that they're going to tell me, oh, for crying out loud, your life can't be that bad. You got your own flat. You got custody of your son. How can your life be so bad? Just because of the things that I have in my life doesn't mean that my life is perfect. I wish things were actually a lot better. Because I feel like no one cares. Because I feel like because of my diagnosis, that people have to treat me differently. Or special. Or I feel like some people can't even be honest with me. Like, seriously. Especially my family. Because there have been certain times in my life where they've lied to my face to protect me. From what? Normally, I'm the last person to know when it comes to business related to the family. Makes us sound like a gang, but we're not. I'm normally the last to know, or I hear about it from someone else. I'm never actually told straight up. You know? So, I just don't want to be treated special. I actually want people to be honest with me about anything. That's so hard to ask. Is it too much? I don't think so. I'm normally honest about a lot of things. Yeah, the video's all over the place. There's not really a certain topic I'm focusing on. That's also one of the issues that I tend to have. It's one of my problems. I tend to go off the rails. Pretty much talk about anything that comes into my head. Well, that's not strictly true. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to hold a job, or I'd probably have a criminal record right now. No, wait. No, scrap that. Thinking back, that was a stupid thing. Because I've really done nothing that warrants a criminal record, in all fairness, because I've always been a law-abiding citizen and whatnot. Yeah. Again, I'm not doing this to get attention or anything of that. I just want people to be aware of what my life is like. And am I going to have to customize this when I post it? Yes. I have to hide it from several people. Several. Because anytime I post something, they could use it against me, which I am sick of. I am sick of. Because there is nothing that warrants concern, in my opinion. Like, for example, when I've gone months without posting something depressing, and then I vent how I feel, I've been told to get help. Help? So basically, I'm not allowed to vent anymore. I'm not allowed to express if I'm feeling depressed or anxious or sad. I always have to be go-lucky and happy. That is not how it works. But this is the world we live in. No one cares about men's feelings. No one. We're all told to man up, suck it up, be a man. Well, bollocks to that. Absolute bollocks to that. I get the typical advice like, why don't you try talking to someone? Do you not think I want to? I do, but this is the problem. I get so anxious about every little thing that I say that I end up thinking, maybe I shouldn't have said this. What if they say this? What if they say something negative? What if they tell me to, I'm gonna go to fucking therapy? This is what it has come down to. This is the effect that COVID and lockdown have had on me. Now, when lockdown originally started, the first one, it didn't bother me because my life would have basically been the same, apart from a few safety precautions like masking, social distancing, etc. Nothing really would have changed. And now, like many people across this country, millions, I can't take it anymore. I just can't. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad I can still see my family. I'm very happy about that. I can still see my mum, my dad, my brothers, my sister, my nieces. I'm thrilled. I'm glad I can still see them, but there comes a point where it's like, I don't know, I want to see my best friend. She's fantastic. She always finds a way to make me laugh. And she never judges me. And I can't see her, which sucks. Or that I can't see the woman that I love. Well, she also works full time, but anyway. And anytime I message like anyone that I want to see, I always feel bad about it. This is the point. I always feel bad every single time that I ask. I always feel like that I'm being selfish, that I'm not taking what they want into account. That in my head it's just thinking, oh, never mind that they got their own lives, never mind that they got their own problems, never mind that they work, it's all about me. That is what constantly goes through my head. So that's why I hesitate to ask a lot of the time. That's why I don't bother. That's why I just push down anything of that matter, any feelings that I have, push it so far down until the point where now it just erupts like a volcano. I just have to point out that most of the time, this doesn't affect my daily life. To the point where it gets to like this. I am able to, let's say, keep it contained for my son's sake. And he's not here right now. In fact, I had to pick him up in like 10 minutes. So I'm going to leave it here. And I'm sorry if this comes out as me being selfish. I'm sorry if you hate me now. Bloody shaking.